Welcome back to Affirmations. I want you all to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I post. For those of you that are new, we do tackle the topic of healing slave trauma. Information in the description box regarding if you want to book a session with me or if you need to find a counselor, okay, as well as information in there about self-harm. Do pass that information on if you know anyone in need, okay? We normally will start with lighting our Palo Santo, and we're going to see if it cooperates because I normally have kind of raggedy lighters. I should do better, right? But we're working on not having to be perfect, right? Our perfectionism. Okay. You're not going to cooperate, are you? This is an ongoing joke, right? We enjoy the joke of this to see if this is going to light or not. Look at it. Come on. Are you going to do it? No. Okay, we'll try one more time. All right. Not going to cooperate. Anyway, wishing everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. And always wanting to start off with our saying, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? Always wanting to mind the self-talk that you do, as well as what you speak about others. You want to make sure you're not being malicious or lying on others because sometimes they can activate reap what you sow, okay? Let's see. So today I started kind of looking at this something called archetypes. Archetypes are basically personality traits in different personalities that humans have, okay? And so, for example, they have the archetype of that of mother, right? Or that the role of caretaker. So it's different personality traits within different titles, okay? So we're going to start looking at some of these. And I really like these cards. I will put this in the description box. And again, this is kind of comes from psychology. Carl Jung was one of the first type of philosopher, psychologist that worked with Freud, who is the father of psychology. But again, I always talk about there's nothing new under the sun. A lot of this information that they get and use is really a lot of times biblical. Sometimes they're getting it from ancient cultures and things of this nature. And again, we always talk about how, we are a parent race. And so pretty much all things, right, have kind of started with us in a lot of these ancient civilizations and things, and information has been rewritten, right? So we're going to look at this to see which card do we get today. We're going to look at archetypes. And this will be in the description box. Okay, I had one that failed. Let's see what this is. All right, we got one today. We're just going to do one. We got artist. It says the light attribute, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically, right? That's what artists do. So they talk about the positive attribute. The negative attribute of artists is using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. So one part of the artist is inspiring others, right, to look at deeper meanings, and the other is one that uses it to manipulate, right? You have the attractive artist that knows how to seduce and manipulate, right? To get pity, to get people to, it's a disguise, right? They're not there to uplift, they're there to use and manipulate. That's interesting. Huh? That's why I like these cards. They talk about the positive because, again, for every negative, there's a positive. There's always two sides. There's a positive of a thing and a negative of the thing. So that's something we want to look at. Are we, they're talking about expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses. Inspiring others to see life symbolically. And you can do that in any way. Even an artist can be a cook, a chef, right? Of course, we know musicians, people that act. A lot of times, comedians, things that allow us to see other aspects of ourselves but again, we always talk about that mindfulness, right? When we tap into the five senses, it allows us to be in the present moment. That's where we experience our full joy, right? It allows us to be present, not again focusing on the past or being drugged into worrying about the future, right? The shadow, using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, right? Because some people, again, you've seen people, the beautiful voices, but they're seducing and drawing people in and they're manipulating, right? So they're using it to mistreat others because people are so taken by them, or if they have a talent, they use it to manipulate, right? Posing as a star resort to elicit pity. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see, we're going to do one more. Come on. Come on, come on. Let's see. I'm hoping you all are having a good week. Okay. Got a lot that flipped over, but I'm just going to take the top. This is interesting. Come on. We got the child, the eternal child. The positive attribute of this is determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, right? We always talk about the inner child, ability to see things with fresh eyes. The negative of this, right? The negative side of the eternal child, inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. You see this? Extreme dependency. So we talk about that a lot of times. People, we always are talking about our archetype of, the master role and that of the slave role. A lot of people in this master role that manipulates people, that have come across as very powerful. They're very dependent on others for attention, validation, sometimes for financial gain, as well as we talk about this because, again, with original sex slaves, what happens is in a lot of relationships, what happens is you have one mate that's exhausted, but then you have the other mate saying, but however, I need your body, even though you're tired and sick, in order to relieve myself because I'm stressed, right? So again, it plays out in a lot of different ways. And so that's the question. Which type of child are you? Is it that you're the one that's young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes, this kind of inner child, this positive, bringing joy? Or are you one that's inability to grow up, right? Very immature, extreme dependency, kind of whiny, spoil, right? Taking on that more master role. Okay, so we did a quick one today. I just kind of want to start looking at these. And again, I will put this information in the description box. I will end with our statement: everyone has a right to heal from trauma, even a race, nation. And until next time.